Now I'm finally ready to build out my WordPress website. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to establish a home page. So I'm going to go over here, I'm going to go to Pages, and I'll choose Add New Page. And I'm going to call it Home. And I'll hit Publish and Publish to make it live even before I start building it. I want to make sure that it's online, ready to go. Now, I'm not worried about using preview or anything like that because I'm building this in a sandbox. I'm building this without being on the web, without being able to be searched by Google. So nobody's really looking at it, so I can just build freely. And I want to see what it's going to look like actively. The first thing I'll do is I'll click on Use Divi Builder. And it's going to start the builder for me and bring me to the home page, and I can take a tour. Now I can take a tour or I can just start building. I highly suggest that you take their tour. It's great. They go through everything that I'm not going through in this course, but because I already know it, this course is like a shortcut version. I'm going to just click on Start Building. And I'm going to be given 3 different choices. I can either build it from scratch, choose a pre-made layout, or build with AI. This is a really cool function, but it kind of takes a little while for you to get exactly what you're looking for. If you got nowhere to go and you don't know what to do, it's a really good idea to use. Building from scratch when you're an expert and you're ready to go and you know how to use it, this one's awesome. But for today's lesson, we're actually going to browse the layouts. So I'll click Browse Layouts. And in here, I'm going to be given all the different layouts to choose from. And they have an absolute ton of them. If you just start scrolling, they're all over the place. And just because it says something like spend a day at the day spa, the spa one, doesn't mean that you can't use it for any kind of company. You could use this literally for a tree guy. So as you can imagine, there's a lot to choose from here. But for this, I'm going to go all the way down here and I'm going to choose one of the basic themes for this tutorial. I'll be choosing agency. And in an agency, and this is true for all of them, they have different page choices for you to go through that you can eventually use. Since this fits my model and everything that I'm working with, it gives me a basic layout to start with, I'm going to go with this one. Now, here's a really cool thing. They have the home page. If you click on a home page, you'll see it right here. But they also have a landing page, which is kind of like a home page. So you kind of get to choose between the two of them. For the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to choose the landing page. And I'll just click on Use This Layout. I can click View the Live Demo if I want to get deeper in, but I'm just going to click on Use This Layout. And it's going to start building it for me. Now the page has been built. We've got a nice banner at the top. We've got our middle section here to put in content and information. We got this little photo thing here where the photo on the left, information on the right. We've got some interesting things to talk about the business over here. We can put a video on this one. A nice subscription form. We will replace our forms from GoHighLevel in here. If we have case studies, leaders in the industry, maybe the team members, testimonials, and if we need to, our pricing right over here. Next, I want to work on the header. So for the header, we have our logo here and we have a menu here that actually hasn't quite been built just yet. So we're going to leave the dummy information here that's coming from the menu module when it doesn't actually have any information on it. But I do want to change the logo. It's a very simple thing to do. From here, I'm going to right click and I'm going to open in a new tab to my dashboard. Now you don't have to right click and open in a new tab. I choose to do it so I can go back and forth and look at things. So I'm going to open this up. I'm going to go into Divi. I'm going to go into Theme Options, and I'm going to upload my logo. Now, my logo has already been uploaded, but just to upload a image, you just click on Upload here and click Select a File. So I'm going to click on my logo, and I'm going to set it as my logo. Scroll down to the bottom, and hit Save. I'll go to the tab over here, and you'll see why in a second when I reload, why I put the logo right over there. Next, I want to change some more of the information that's over here. In order to do that, I'm going to go back into the back end. I'm going to go to Appearance, and I'm going to go to Customize. And this is the standard customization screen inside of WordPress. We're going to start right off the top. We're going to go to General Settings, and we're going to click on site identity. We've already put our icon in. We've already put our site title and our tagline. So there's nothing to change here. From there, I'm going to go to my layout settings. Here is the width of the website, the gutter width, section height, and so forth, and our default colors. No need to change anything here either. Topography is something important that you want to take a look at, because this is going to rule what the defaults are for your page. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change the text color, because I just want to use black for standardizing. And I'll do it down here, because so that was the header, and this is black over here. As you can see, the colors changed here. And for the default fonts, I'm going to use a little something different. Now, if I use this one, it's the default theme font. If I click here, though, I have all the choices of all the Google fonts. So I'm going to go down here, and because I like it, I'm going to be using the font Poppins. And there it is. And as you can see, the font has changed. For the body font, I'm going to just leave it as it is. And then I want to put a default size of 16. Now, it starts with 14. I am of the mind that 16 is better. It's better for the eyes, and it's something that people are more comfortable with. I think 14 is a little too small. So I'm going to hit publish, and that's going to take care of that. Now, I continuously click publish as I'm editing this. I'm not done yet. I do that because there is a chance that anything could happen. The web page could go down, or the computer could stop working. I could have a power outage. So I just like to save continuously. I'll back out of the topography. I'll back out of the general settings, and next I'll go to header and navigation. So I'm going to do my header format. In here, I can choose the header style. From this drop down, I can do centered. I can do inline, which is kind of cool depending on the site. But for this, I'm just going to leave it as default with it on the left-hand side. The primary menu bar is this one right over here. And I can change a couple things here. I can change the menu height. As you can see, it increases the logo. I can change just the logo height, make it a little bit bigger, which I think I will. I can increase the text size for the menu items, which I'm going to do right now. I'm going to bring those to 18. Actually, I'll bring that to 17. And then I can change the spacing in between the letters. And I can change the font. I'm going to change that also to Poppins. And then I'll choose my text color. In this case, I'm going to go just black. Make sure it has no gradient on it whatsoever. That's my active link color. And that's from when you're on a particular page and you want to show off what that page is. That link will be that color. And then we have our drop-down information, so forth like that. And I'm just going to leave that just like it is. And again, I'll hit publish. Now, one thing I do like to do on these is I don't know what the dimensions are of a person's computer is. So I like to have them make full width, and that makes it the full width of the top bar of the menu that they're on. So I'm going to put that as full width, and I'll hit publish again. I'll hit the back button here. Now, secondary menu bar is one that you're not seeing right now. There's an ability to add a secondary menu bar above here natively. I'm not going to use that now, but understand that that is available to you, and this is where you would edit that style. Then there's the fixed navigation settings. We're going to leave this as is for now. And then there's header elements. And over here, it's showing the search icon in the top right-hand corner. I am not interested in having that on my site. I'm going to uncheck it, and I can add my phone number and my email if I choose to, which would add it to the top nav. But we're not going to do that right now. I'm going to hit my back button. And next is my footer. In my footer, I can choose the layout I want to have. Now, these are widgets that can go into individual cells. There are 4 spaces here right now based on this. We can change it to a different layout if we choose to. I am only going to use a singular area, and I'll be deleting these because all I want to do is put my copyright information in here for now. So I'm only going to make it 1. I'm going to go to widgets. Now this is where I could change the information in the widgets and the look and the feel. I'm not going to use that. I'll skip over footer elements, and I'll skip over footer menu, and I'll go to the bottom bar. In the bottom bar, I'm going to add credits. I'll put in the copyright information by putting in an emoji. And I'll put in some basic information here. I want to change the background color to black. I want to make the text color white. If I scroll all the way down, you're starting to see it right over here. And over here, I have some social icons that are already added. Really hard to see, so I'm going to click on this color here. And as you can see, I can change it to whatever color I choose. I'll just leave it for blue for right now for this tutorial, but you can edit this and change the color as you choose just by adding your hex code right over there. And then I'll hit publish. I'll go back, and I'm going to go back twice. And now I want to get rid of these widgets, but I can't do this here. I'll show you where to do that in a moment. And then I can go through all the different parts of my site and change their look and their feel. There's additional CSS that can be added here if you're using CSS, different kinds of homepage settings, and so forth. But we're good here now for the top nav and the footer, except we still want to get rid of this. So I'm going to hit the X here. And in the back end, I'm going to go to Appearance and go to Widgets. Now here are the widgets that are native inside of WordPress. I'm going to X out of this, and I'm just going to delete these. Very simply by clicking on one, hitting these dots over here, and clicking delete until everything is gone. Then I'll open up footer area number 1, and I'll just start deleting all of these too. And then that should get rid of all of that extra information. So if I refresh this page, which is my home page, to take a look, I've got my top navigation and my logo here. And if I scroll down at the bottom, I have this gray area where I'll add stuff later. And here is where I have my copyright information and the social links. Now that I've done the header and the footer, I'm finally able to start working on my page. So I'll click on Enable Visual Builder, and I'm going to get to editing. And I'm going to show you a couple different things here. So I want to show you the basic structure of Divi and how Divi works. So Divi uses elements a lot like GoHighLevel does. It has sections, which is either a full width section, which would be in purple, or in a darker kind of blue, which would give us a section. Within any section, there are rows. Rows are divvied up into columns. Now, it's kind of hard to see the columns here. You actually have to click on this cog, which is the setting for each area, to see how the column structure works. And you can change things fairly easily, as you can see just by flipping these. If you want to move the text to the right or to the left, you can really move things around easily in Divi. Again, it works a lot like GoHighLevel. So I'm going to just put this right back here. And each one of these things in here, it could be images, it could be text, it could be videos, icons, is a different element. Now, you can edit an element by clicking on the module setting right over here, or you can hit the plus sign, and here are all the different native modules that are inside of Divi. Now, Divi uses the word module, which in HighLevel, we would use the word element. In this case, it would be module. And like I said before, there's an accordion, there's blogs, there's blurbs, there's calls to action, contact forms, and the list goes on. Images, maps, tons and tons of stuff, and a lot of third-party ones you can add also. But I'm going to leave this one as it is right now. But it's very easy to add more things to it just by hitting the plus sign, and you can add literally anything underneath. So for instance, if I wanted to add another call to action under here, I would just click on it, and there we go. It just popped out right there. And I'll hit Command Z to get rid of it. I'm going to scroll up here. So there's also, if you notice, a background image on this particular header. In order to change that, though, because it's the full width header, I click on this cog, and there is a background. And sometimes you got to root around to find where things are inside of Divi. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to upload an image, and I'm just going to drop an image that I have in here to make it work. I'm just going to drop it right there, and my image is uploading. And I'll click Upload. And as you can see, now I have a different image in the background there. And I can change this text either by clicking on the text, which I am, by the way, not a big fan of, or, and I'm going to have to click in another area to make this happen, I like to click on the cog, and I like to change it right over here. So instead of Divi for Business, I'm going to do Brighter Idea Marketing. And I'll hit the check mark. I would change any of this information here, my buttons, my links to those buttons. I would put in a different paragraph of information, and I would change every part of this homepage. I would change and put my picture here with a bio, and I can even swap out the video just by clicking on the video. Now I can either use a YouTube video or I can delete this and I can add a video by clicking add, and I can upload a file, which is what I'm going to do right now. Drop it in there, let it upload. It's going to take a moment. I'll click upload a video right here. And if you notice, there is an image that's in the way. That image is a screenshot that can be changed. So I can click this again, scroll down over here, choose overlay, click on the overlay, and I can use a completely different image for it. I'll just use this one as an example, but I could upload an image. And I'll click upload, and it'll change it. Finally, when I'm done editing, what I'll do is I'll click on this purple icon right here, and I get a couple different choices. I can see the structure of the way the page is laid out. I can see the page as a full document. I can look at it as it would look on a desktop. I can see what it would look like on a tablet. And I can look at it if it was on a mobile phone. And this is where I'm going to want to edit it and make it more responsive, bringing it down to this level. For now, I'm just going to leave it like this, and I'm going to hit save here on the right-hand side. And that's the basic way to edit your pages.